Hey YouTube. So sorry this is coming to you a little bit late. I'm going to be crunching in a couple of weeks together. I am currently 35 weeks and 5 days, so almost 36 weeks. And this video update will be for weeks 33, 34, and I'm going to go ahead and update about this week as it's been so far. So it'll also include week 35, even though it's not quite over yet, but pretty much. So really not like a whole lot has changed in the past couple of weeks, which is why this is an update of a couple of weeks at a time. Week 33, a couple of things happened, and I was gonna do a video update, but then my little kitten went into heat, and hopefully for the last time this season. And so she was constantly meowing like all of the time. And if you guys remember some of my older videos when we had the cat meowing in the background all the time, it was fairly annoying. So I was never able to really get a video up that week. And so that kind of contributed to why this video is coming up a little bit late. But anyways, let me get right into it. As far as for week 33, I had talked about in one of my previous videos about how it was basically confirmed by my midwife that he is sitting in a posterior position, which means that his back is to my back, meaning that he's facing outwards, and that is not an ideal position for like laboring and birth and that kind of stuff. It's what they consider to be a sunny side up. So I have been really working on trying to get him to spin around, and Hypnobabies has helped with that with suggestions, but they also suggest to go to a website called spinningbabies.com. But that website has a lot of information, especially for people who are needing to work on repositioning a baby who's breech. But definitely talks a lot about posterior babies and the different positions and whatnot. So I did a lot of research on that site and was doing a lot of the different techniques, which a lot of it just pretty much involves trying to stay as upright or leaning forward as possible rather than in a reclined position. So that has been really hard for me to try and do, just because sitting in a reclined position is a little bit more comfortable for my back with the back pain that I've had. So I've just been really trying to focus on, staying upright or leaning forward and whatnot. I switched out sitting in a regular chair, like at the dinner table and at the computer and whatnot, for sitting on the birthing ball, which isn't bad. Sometimes my back will hurt if I've been sitting there for a while, like in my hip joints like they normally have, but I find it just as comfortable, if not more comfortable, I guess, sitting on the birthing ball rather than sitting in a regular chair. When I was going through my birthing time with my daughter, I found the birthing ball to be extremely uncomfortable. I didn't like it at all, and I didn't really want to have anything to do with it. So just with, I think, how much I've been using it and sitting on it for the past couple of weeks, that I think I will be more comfortable with it this time, and I actually see myself using it quite a bit during my birthing time. But of course, that's just going to all depend on how it goes down and how the pressure waves feel and my comfort level and whatnot. But there's been a lot of, progress being made in week 33. I feel like there's a lot of progress being made as far as where in the house I'm going to feel most comfortable during my birthing time, and different positions that I think will be helpful. So even though a lot of this has just been like trying to get him to spin around, it's actually been really helpful for me to just kind of practice different positions and areas in the house and things like that where I'm going to be comfortable. I do feel like he is more often in an anterior position, which is the ideal position, than a posterior position now. He doesn't always stay that way, and I think that he'll continue to kind of rotate around until he really, really descends down. But I do feel like more often with me staying upright or leaning forward a little bit, that he is staying in a more anterior position. So that's good. I feel like all my hard work is paying off. One of the other things I was doing to help spin him around is an inversion that Spinning Babies suggests, where you're basically like have your knees up on the couch and you're leaning down, kind of like if you're doing the yoga pose like a down dog, but it's like much more at an angle and you're higher up. Anyways, kind of hard to explain, I guess. But anyways, they do say that that position can cause you to have a little bit more heartburn. You only do it for like 30 seconds and then you stop. But anyways, they suggest not to do it like right after you're eating or if you have a really full stomach or whatever. Well, I took all those suggestions, but just the fact that I did those made my heartburn bad for the next couple of hours. So that was no fun. But I do feel like that inversion, which is to help stretch out some of the ligaments in your stomach, that can be tight and cause him to not be able to be in the right position. Anyways, I do feel like that inversion was really helpful. I feel like that was probably one of the most helpful things that has helped him kind of get into that anterior position like I need him to be in. One of the other symptoms in week 33 was that I actually feel like my hands are swelling. They're just off and on swelling, generally if I just get too hot or whatever, but at nighttime I get really hot. That I did feel like it would probably be a good idea to now like take off my ring. So I'm not wearing my wedding ring. And have it stored away and safe. But it was during week 33 that I decided it was probably better that I take off the ring now rather than me continuing to swell and then not be able to take off my ring at all. So I just decided to take it off, and that's kind of sad. I feel kind of naked. That's pretty much it for symptoms for week 33. During week 34, absolutely nothing happened. It was a really boring week. No change in symptoms or anything new. Nothing like that. However, for week 35, this week, some really big changes kind of happened, I guess. At least I think they're big changes. And I don't even know what time it was, probably like 2 o'clock in the morning. So we're talking Monday morning now. I got the most horrendous and painful cramp in my leg. And it wasn't like in my calves. It was in my inner thigh. So if anybody knows any muscles, my adductor, which is your inner thigh muscle, and it was literally a cramp from groin to knee. And it lasted for at least a good 5 minutes. It was so painful and oh my goodness, it was really bad. And my leg was sore it's pretty much just now. We're at 5 days past. So 4 days later, my leg is just now not sore anymore. So it was really bad. And my husband is a super hard sleeper. And so I was in the process of rolling over to try and switch to the other side. I went so loud, I guess, in pain, that it woke him up and he was like, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" And I just told him, I was like, "Oh, my leg." And he tried massaging it for me and I was trying to relax it. I was trying to move it. Like I eventually just got up because I had to go to the bathroom anyways, but I got up and I was trying to walk it off, and oh man, it was bad. Every time that it would like relax, it would just come right back and it was so painful. So that happened. And then that morning, so Monday morning, when I woke up, I looked down at my stomach and I was like, whoa, where'd he go? He just seemed so much lower. And I like looked in the mirror and did a side view of it and I was like, yeah, he looks lower. So I asked my husband, I was like, does he look lower? He was like, yeah, wow, he does. A couple of other people have confirmed it too. And as the day went on, I was noticing quite a bit more back pain. And yeah, so he's definitely dropped down a little bit, which I was shocked about because my daughter didn't drop until I was 38 and a half weeks. And I gave birth to her a week later. It's a little bit easier to breathe now, so I can tell that he's lower. But it's still pretty hard to like bend over and stuff because he is just big and there, and even though he's dropped down, he's still up like in my ribs and stuff. So that's pretty much my update. Nothing really new has happened this week other than his position dropping, which has caused me to waddle now but not because of his position like in my pelvis, but because the back pain, I have to waddle a little bit in order for it to be a little bit more comfortable. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my weeks 33, 34, and 35. I will go ahead and include the belly progression at the end from week 6 until week 35. And if you haven't already, I would suggest going over to Facebook and liking my Facebook fan page, I guess if that's what you want to call it, because that's going to be a major source of us updating when things start really happening. We will eventually get videos and stuff up, but who knows when that will be. So if you want to stay in the loop as far as things are going on, go over to my Facebook page. I'll put the link down below so that you can see it, and just like the page. You can even change notification settings as far as Facebook. I don't really know how it all works now, but just make sure that you set up so that you can get the notifications from my page. Because it's not a personal Facebook page. It's like group page or whatever. I don't know. But that's basically my update, and I will talk to you guys next week after I have my prenatal appointment. Bye.